Well, boys, what are we doing? We're going down the Asher Knife Trail and Asher Knives. And, this model, obviously, you know the name of it because it's got the name. It's got the name. Don't you love it? It's the Spiro, but I mean, I had to write it on the box because, no, it's the same kind of box as for all the other models as well. So, it's a nice fitted box. It's S35V and blade steel. So I thought, the Nomad, you know what? That's got that kind of axis lock on it, and they give you an extra set of Omega springs and everything. That Nomad 2, I like it. But you know what? I know even though it's a liner lock, it drops. The action on this is really, really nice. And it's got dual thumb studs on there. And they are there, aren't they? Whew. Machined, all that. And the one thing about this knife is that, well, a lot of things about this knife that are good about it, but I mean, I'd say one of the main features is the fact that it's real S35 VN steel, and it's not a ton of money, okay? Those things, I looked them up, and, I'll give you a link to Asher Knives, and you can go on and check, but anywhere from like $75 to $84 for a knife. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. And contoured G10 scales, right or left hand deep carry, and they flatten the screws out on there too, so you got a whole bunch of room to kick it over your pocket lip, and it does work well that way. And the blade's so light, I just let it come down and hit my. Oh no, actually, the blade part doesn't hit. Okay, so. It's not a flipper, even though I'm trying to pretend it is. Yeah, I mean, those thumb studs, you snap it out and go from the back. How about middle finger flick? Easy breezy. How much does it weigh? What do you think? 3.5? It's pretty light. 3.3 at 93, almost 94 grams. So, how big is it? Well, let me take my full-size paramilitary 2. And no, it's not as big as the paramilitary 2 is at all. And let's put the tape to it. Yeah, it's just 3 1/8, 3.15 inch blade there. But now the cutting edge is 3.15. And really 3 1/4 there. So however you want to name it, 7 1/4 inches, and that's 18.5 centimeters, and at about 80 millimeter blade length. So it's not really a 3 7. It's bigger than that. It's a bit bigger than that. So I don't know if my little Para 3 still. No, it's not rolling around here. So. But it's bigger than the Para 3. So, nice. It's got liner, and it's embedded. G10 backspacer, and it looks like a natural G10. I tried it with my UV light to see if it lit up, but it doesn't. It doesn't light up in the dark. So, okay. I thought maybe it was luminous. And it's got a stonewash finish here. Pretty practical blade. And let me see if it'll cut paper. Okay. Yeah, it's got a good working edge from the factory production place, so that's good as well. And I think the design is attractive. Drop. Design flow, good. Blade to handle length, pretty reasonable there. Is it centered? Yes. Any blade player lock rock? No. There's your lockup. Ooh, that's pretty heavy for that. And it's 40%. We'll take this apart. But yeah, the action's on it really nice. It's so light. It's it's not big, but it's not really small either, depending on your your opinion of what a small knife or a large knife. Really under 7 inches and under a 3-inch blade I call small. And then normal kind of EDC is anything like 3 inches up to 3.5. And then if it goes bigger than that, I call it more of a large type knife. But they put a little plate over the area in here, and fit and finish seems fine. I'm not coming up with any issues. There's your pass through, and that's easy to disengage the lock bar. So it's not overly stiff or anything. Oh, I lost my flipper tab. I keep wanting to do that, don't I? Ooh, lost my mind. But this is not a flipper, which is good because there's your contact patch right there. Okay, not like a flipper's gonna be. So there's nothing wrong with that. Not at all. Ergos, pretty good because this is so neutral here. So your first finger in there. The rest, yeah, no, you really can't go forward on that, but it gives you a little bit of a break for your sharpening, I'd say. So it shouldn't be real difficult to maintain, although, you know, it's a super steel, so it's not going to be as easy as like Aus 8 or 440 or that kind of thing to sharpen because it's going to hold an edge for a much longer time. Plunge looks pretty good. So, you know, I just don't find much fault with it. Reverse grip, yes. Should be pretty discreet carry with that deep carry clip. So that's good. And before we get too far in, 0.09 at 2.3 millimeter on the blade stock. And overall, almost 12 millimeters, 11.8 at 0.46. So about the same thickness as a paramilitary 2, although the blade thickness is definitely thinner at 2.3 millimeters. So, yeah, you don't have too much thickness on that blade, so it ought to slice pretty nicely. Don't see a lanyard hole, so there's no lanyard hole here. Detent. I think the detent's where it needs to be because I want to be able to kick it open, okay? That's what I want to do, and this is real fidget friendly like that. So let me see if I can kick it out like this. Okay, yes. So detent's not that strong. It's not that strong. It's not a flipper. If it's a flipper, I might want a little stronger detent on it. But when it's something that you just flip open and or middle finger flick, then I like this. I mean, you may want stronger than that, but I don't need it. Yeah, okay. So I'd call it a 3.8 on my scale. And knives go from about 3.8 to 5.5, even as tough as 6.0 on my scale. So that's kind of the general area. And this is one of the lesser detent. It's relatively soft, but you know, it's not going to just come open. You're going to have to snap it good, you know, like that. So, yeah, I like it. I like the detent. And you know what I was going to say, and I forgot, but they got a couple of new models coming out, and one's got kind of a harpoon blade on it. I've got them coming my way, and so I'm going to tell you about those when they come in, but they really look, I mean, on paper, they look really good. And check out Asher Knives Instagram. You'll see pictures there. I'm sure they got a Facebook page, but I don't have that information right now. I'll dig it up, try and put it in the comment section and the description section as well. And then, of course, check out their website. So that's how to get that. I could have done this while I was talking to you like that on that. Okay, let's bust this loose. And it's turning both ways. So we need another number 8. Time to bust it loose. And we're gonna, no excuses here, right? And that's, we won't get it on this side. We'll finish it off on this side. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, got a round pivot, so, but at least we have access on both sides. Somebody got happy with the thread locker. Real happy. I don't like people being that happy. Hold off. And let's just take these off. And I don't think we got to take the pocket clip off to get this apart, my friends. Nope. And there's what she looks like on the inside. Ceramic detemp ball. There's your steel liner on the inside lock bar. And there, one of the screws fell out. The last one in that handle. Okay. So we're good there. It looks pretty clean. Looks reasonably good. We've got bearings that fell down, and there they are, ceramic, so that's good. We got a blade stop. That's good. Pull this side off. It's really weird how that pivot was turning like that when this is a D-shaped pivot. How does that happen? Is there a D shape here? No. Is there a D shape here? No. So no wonder it can turn, because they actually, you actually have to have a D shape somewhere to lock this thing up. I mean, you can make a D shaped pivot, but that just means you kind of square it off one part. But you got to actually have something corresponding that will limit the travel, and that's why it was turning, because good job. I mean, there's half the job done. Now you just need the little D shape on your liner, and you're all good. All right, so here's our deal. It looks like we're loaded in. This screw coming through that cover plate also helps secure this liner in place to reinforce everything in here. And we came through from this side because we broke it apart on the back. And we're just going to put this pivot screw in. Even though it was a nice thought to put a D-shaped pivot, you kind of got to match that up with something. And put that down. Let's throw some lubrication in there. And this, well, first of all, let's get our little stop in here so we don't have to reach around the blade. There you go. Then put the blade on. And you can see how that, how that becomes a stop both ways for open and closed. Come here, back in here. It doesn't sit terribly low in there, so that could jump out at you. Okay. So, we need another round of bearings, which we're going to put right here. And we're going to put a drop or two right there. We're going to throw this back on, hopefully, and match it up. And so it doesn't matter, even if it's D-shaped, we have nothing to match it to here. So we can just put the pivot back like that. Yep. Got the ratchet going here. Okay. So I can tell, yeah, I still got thread locker in there. But I'm going to work it around a little bit, kind of knock it loose and bring it back to, yeah, it's centered. And I don't think I'm going to need to tighten that pivot much more than that either. And let's see if we can get handy with putting these screws in here. There's one. There's going to be the other here if we can get it loaded in. And then number 6s. And okay, we're locked down. And next. Not having any problems there. And we're good. So what do you think? Okay, we got the wobbles, or are we locked down enough? No wobbles. We might have got our lockdown more than we needed to. It's definitely got a little more stiff action. So let's, we were playing with this one. Let's cut it some slack, just a little bit. Okay, now we're back to happy times. Now let's see if we cut it too much slack. No, it's still not moving. So, and we're still centered. So this is the way she be for me. And that's all good. All right, you know what? I do. I like this. This and the Nomad, I don't know. I don't know. This is a tough decision. I do like the Nomad 2. I like that in the gray. And that's the S35 as well. This is hard to turn down because the action's just so damn good. And, you know, it feels good in hand. And there is enough room for my whole hand on this knife. So it's not small. It's not big. It's easy carry, deep carry, contoured G10, and a good quality steel. So, and reasonable price. So this can be your user beater every day. You know, Joe, toss it on the table, not worrying about snail trails and titanium garbage and all that. So I think that's definitely a consideration right there. And yeah, like I said, they're gonna have some new models coming out here in my hands. They're out, but they're headed my way, and we'll look at them as well. They look really interesting. Take care, my friends. Love them knives. That's what we do. And you guys stay sharp.